All right, welcome to Talksharp with Sean. Today's vocabulary is from reading the tea leaves on page 2. Let's start with number 1, to squint. Squint is a verb which means to close your eyes very tightly, but not all the way. So they're still open. You can still see. Normally you squint when the light is too bright. You know, whenever you walk outside into the sun, you squint your eyes. Sometimes when you laugh or when you smile, you squint your eyes too. Number 2, microclimate, which is when a certain area of a country or a place has like a small amount of land that has a different climate than the rest of the area. So it could be like a valley, it could be like a mountain area. Usually those areas, you know, they have a different climate than the surrounding area. Number 3, subtle. So there is a B, but you don't really pronounce the B. It's just subtle. The B is very subtle. Thank you. So I didn't. Thank you. That's a bigger reaction than I expected. So when something is subtle, that means it's kind of very maybe a little bit calm or patient, subdued, a little bit smooth. Sometimes if you work in sales, for example. You have, or maybe if you work in like some kind of relationship management for a company, you have to be very subtle about things. You know, you don't want to be too quick to you know, suggest something very strongly, or you don't want to be too strong about like any kind of, you know, rejection. You have to be subtle about it. You have to work it into it, and you have to kind of be smooth about it. Give it some. You know, give it some time and kind of some maybe little hints here and there before you build up to it. Next, oh, I'm sorry. Also with subtle, if you are eating something, somebody has like a new recipe and they're like, here, try this, and you're tasting it and you're like, oh wow, this has like some subtle hint of like this flavor. That means you taste a little bit of something in the food. Like it could be like a type of seasoning or an ingredient. So, you know, like when you're tasting, let's see, if you go like wine tasting, you know, sometimes you talk about the subtle hints of like the oak barrel or like cherry or, you know, some kind of sweet, subtle flavor they might have. Next, number 4, integral, which is to say that something is basically integrated and sort of like an essential part of something to be complete. So, you know, I think with every job you have something that's integral with your job. Sometimes, you know, checking emails and writing reports is an integral process in your job. Last, number 5, probably my favorite one for today is camaraderie. So the spelling and the pronunciation is totally confusing because it's spelled like camaraderie, but that's not how you say it. It's like camaraderie. Yeah, I would probably reimagine the spelling as like C-O-M-O-R. I'm sorry, C-R-C-O-M-R-O-D-E-R-Y. Camaraderie. So that second A, just ignore that when you're reading it. Camaraderie is when you have like you built a good, lighthearted, positive relationship with other people. You have a good rapport with them. You look forward to talking to them or hanging out with them. Camaraderie is something that you can have with your friends. Camaraderie is something you can have with people in your university. You can have camaraderie in your workplace if you have like a good team that you get along with. You can also have camaraderie with people that are like your clients. So, you know, people that usually have like good camaraderie, they you know, get along well, go out to have dinners and drinks and stuff like that together. And those are your vocabulary. Bye.